Hello and welcome to Most Haunted USA. The battle plans that shaped a nation's constitution may well have been hatched within these walls. But is this also a home to the ghosts of the soldiers that were based here? Today we encounter dark shadows, temperature changes, as well as clear but invisible voices. And that's why I brought you to the Drum Barracks. Wilmington lies south of LA, and here in 1862 saw the construction of one of America's most formidable fortresses. At the then staggering sum of $1 million, 60 acres of land were converted into Drum Barracks, a military station that saw over 7,000 troops head out into battle. This was a base that pinned its colours on the triumphant Union Army during this nation's 4-year Civil War. Some of its rooms were used as a private residence for the Colonel James Henry Carleton and his wife Sophia. The advent of the 20th century signalled a more passive direction, as first a high school and then a boarding house were based here. Locals then saved the buildings from demolition in the 60s, with this national monument serving as a museum since 1987. But does war still rage, long after the troops have gone?
This barracks was actually named after the Assistant Adjutant General, Richard Coulter Drum. It was built in 1862, a very large barracks. It was the headquarters of the US Army in Southern California, Utah, Arizona and New Mexico, which was a very, very large area.
The parlour is one of the most active places in the building. The temperature drops for no apparent reason. The drapes sway on their own. Also, dark shapes have been seen floating across the floor, accompanied by male conversation, and the lights turn on and off.
A lot of people, a lot of visitors come through and have come up and asked about different smells that they've smelled or they've seen something. And a lot of the docents also have come back with stories.
The model room is said to be very active. Things have been heard moving on their own, and strange smells have also been witnessed, from lavender to tobacco.
There's too many unexplained things that have happened that I hear and smell and see through my peripheral vision. There might be someone standing, like I think there is beside me or behind me, but when I turn my head, they're gone.
Many loud noises have been heard here in the armoury, from footsteps to voices. But what alarms people more than anything is seeing the ghostly figures of Union soldiers wandering in and out. Both inside and outside the barracks, the ghost of a woman wearing a hooped skirt has been seen. Also, the ghost of a little boy has been seen standing in the yard and playing up here on the upper landing.
And of course the other thing you've got to remember is that this place now is a very, very fine museum. It has many, many original artifacts. Things like this percussion rifle that again goes back to 1863, the time of the Civil War, that would have taken lives.
If the Most Haunted crew wants to spend the night here, I would spend the night in the parlor. I think you have the best chance of seeing or hearing ghosts. We've smelled smoke in there, either cigar or pipe smoke. And also, if you try playing Dixie on the piano, you might have some luck.
I've come down into the parlour because a few years ago there was a group of tourists coming around the place. They came into here and they got someone with them who could play the piano, and they said, "What shall we play?"
I says, "Well, I want you to play Dixie because Kathy and I are the only two Confederates here, and since this is a Union barracks." So we were facing the parlor door, everybody else was facing us, and she started to play Dixie. Which of course is almost the Confederates' national anthem, for want of a better word. This light out here just went nuts. I mean, it just was flickering on and off and kept it up until we stopped. And then when we came out here, it never did it again. And I haven't seen it again, happen again. But maybe if you play Dixie, it will.
And with so many tales to tell, it does appear that Wilmington's Drum Barracks has a lot to offer our investigation, as parapsychologist Kieran O'Keefe explains.
What's fascinating about being at an American location is we're only looking at a period of about 150 years. In England, we're looking at locations that go on for many centuries, 500, 600 years, and we've become quite accustomed to that. The fascinating thing about being at this location is that we've, in essence, got the same number of sightings, the same number of testimonies, but over a shorter period of time. And that I find very interesting.
So where do you think we should start our investigation tonight?
I think what we should do is maybe begin with a séance. But in terms of experiments, we've got a lot to focus on. We've got apparitions, we've got strange odours that people have reported, a little bit of poltergeist activity, and audibles as well. We've got a lot of auditory phenomena in various locations.
Now you say that we're going to start the investigation off with a séance. A lot of the time in the past when we've done séances, we've had taps, rappings and knocks. What do you put that down to?
On the team, we have a sound man, John Gilbert. Now, his role essentially is to try and pinpoint where that sound is coming from, and that's why it's great to have him, because then at least we can discount the possibility of fraud. On previous investigations, he's able to pinpoint it's not actually coming from the floor area, it's not coming from anybody's feet, it's actually coming from the table itself. And it's very, very useful to have somebody like that on the team to discount all sceptical explanations.
Now we're also, before we do the séance, we're going to do something quite unusual, which is you play the piano, and it's been known here that many witnesses, when they sing, I think it's the Dixie song,
right,
that phenomena does happen. So I think it'd be quite a good idea for you to play the tune.
Okay, yeah, I'll attempt to do that. It's great that we've got the piano here and of course the music to Dixie and other songs from the Civil War period, and in a sense we're replicating an experiment almost. You know, the fact that people reported phenomena in response to Dixie means that we can set up exactly the same conditions under which it occurred.
So all in all, are you hopeful of things happening here tonight?
I'm very excited about being here. This is a very unusual location, simply because we're looking at one time period, the American Civil War. You tally that with the number of eyewitness testimonies that there have been for different phenomena. Yeah, I'd expect something. I hope for something.
So will a little provocation reap rewards tonight? With spiritualist mediums Derek Okora and David Wells now ready to channel any astrals present within this military museum. Most Haunted eagerly and expectantly head into the Drum Barracks.
As we step through this doorway, I've become aware, not so much of the presence of spirit person active here, but the residual. And it was a young man, most definitely a soldier. And you know when a person is like battle shocked, and his mind's not clear, and I feel that is thick and fast in this residual energy
So
here.
he's reliving the trauma?
Absolutely, reliving time and time again.
There might be somebody that today we would diagnose as PTSD,
Yes.
post-traumatic stress.
Yeah, that I would put down to those feelings,
Right,
definitely, you know.
Any name with him?
It's either first name or surname, Francis. I feel it's surname. And with him, only a young man.
How old?
In his 25, 26, 27, around that age.
So how did he die? Was it in battle that he died?
I feel it could have been the result of finally he went into battle and he was finally, hit and fatally wounded. But the mental torture is not so much his memory from actually passing, that final, but what he went through before he met his end.
Do you have any idea when he would have been stationed here?
Oh gosh, 1844.
Right.
Up to 1846.
Okay.
In between that period of time.
Although the date given falls 2 decades short of when soldiers were stationed here, we were expecting to hear more tales of woe. But would any of the spirits make their presence known? And what else waits for us at the Drum Barracks?
So he's gone upstairs.
I think that's where he was heading.
Washington Drum Barracks in California once stood witness to America's bloody Civil War, but has since then taken on the more sedate roles of a high school and now a Civil War museum. Having already alluded to this building's military past, we move away from the armory and out into the first floor corridor, where a very different energy appears to Derek.
Oh, there's a very graceful lady. I suppose if she was seen, and I don't know whether she has been seen, but if she'd been seen by the naked eye, it would look as if she was up off the boards, you know? And it's like a floating effect, you know? Very graceful.
How would you describe her and her looks?
Well, okay, a very slim build, you know, very petite. She would have, her hair would be, not, your hair's beautiful, but her hair would be trinkled, but up and back.
Right.
I'll tell you something, you're going to laugh at this, but when she comes across the energies of people of the darkened skin, she does not like them being here. And it's like you said, she, you know, out, and it's like they take no notice of her. Because these souls, these spirit souls, are, again, not of an era of time. It's, in other words, they feel as if they belong here more than her.
So who are they?
You're going to laugh. Indians.
Right.
A lot of them. A lot of them. A group of them.
What, you mean Red Indians?
Red Indians. But this lady, even though she's of spirit, she's not understanding that these souls, okay, were here before her.
Did she live
before
here?
this building?
Did she live here?
Yes.
She did.
I feel she would have had a very just man connected to her. He would have been of military. I feel in his private times, him saying to himself, although I'm the officer in charge, I don't necessarily in the quiet time have to agree with everything that I have to do.
Although the troops have long since gone, some of these buildings have lived on. And would we learn any more of the lady that is often seen along this corridor?
Now, there's a strong probability of a lot of paranormal activity taking place in this room, I feel. The residual energy states that a person could be in here, and at any given time, I notice here this beautiful little, well, piano, whatever, and I feel that her energies at times would concentrate around there, and there's a strong probability, because I'm getting a replay of music being played.
The music that would come from here would presumably then be spirit music, because unfortunately this doesn't work.
Yes, spirit music, yeah.
So you're not
It
getting
wouldn't
anything.
matter, Kieran.
Right.
Okay, I would say that that plays, or music comes from it.
Right.
It's the result of the lady.
Okay.
You know, up and down. Also, I get this energy also of, I talked earlier about the, you know, an officer, a man, and I feel his energy, again, residual energy is thrown out that he's here, okay?
Yeah.
At times, more so than the lady. The chair, it's like a rocking chair, isn't it? I wouldn't be at all surprised whether that started rocking when his energy was close by. That wouldn't rock because of the result of the lovely lady, but because of him. There's also as well here, at times, the atmosphere, fragrances, smells without a doubt, and a mixture of smells. And I feel the smells sometimes can be confused. We get this like beautiful perfumery, and then suddenly this like burning smell as if, and that was intermingling with it, you know, like smoke, say, from a fire, and the two coming together. And then if you put the two together, then it's like,
Yeah.
Right.
whereas separate, you know, one is a beautiful fragrance and the other is of burning.
Yeah.
But because it's coming from the residual energies, it's coming together. So you're getting different fragrances.
Okay.
This room would once have been the sole domain of a high-ranking officer. And although this doesn't entirely discount the presence of a lady in here, no phenomena has previously been reported. The ground floor parlour also once acted as an officer's private space. But this is a room where relaxation is no longer guaranteed, as a series of modern-day poltergeist encounters continue to stun staff and visitors alike.
I'm more aware in here now than anywhere else in the house of the energies of, without a doubt, Indians, especially two.
Right.
2 of them. Oh wow, you will not believe this. I mean, this is going to sound crazy and silly.
Go on.
And I hear him screaming. And as if people, 2 of them, were being dragged. And the next minute, I'm looking up. Can I just say to you, I'm getting someone, it's like executed, hung. 2 of them. They were taken and they were hung. Where? Where? In this room? No, the locality. Local, here, outside. Very close here. There's been hangings here of 2 souls. So they filter into this room as well from outside.
Right.
And I feel there's a slight torment with those souls, different than who I've described up to now, totally different. And I feel when their energies infiltrate and come in here, there's this like pent-up anger of the way they were slain, the way they were killed.
Right.
I know I keep asking this and I keep trying to get evidence, but any idea of the tribe?
Well, you know, you've just asked that question, and what just suddenly was brought in, I don't know if it's a first name or whatever, but all I got was West and Eagle. Now, I don't know if we put them together, I don't know what that means,
Okay.
but I get West and the word Eagle.
Okay, so it's worth trying and finding out
Yeah.
if there was anything beforehand.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
brilliant. Great
Okay.
stuff.
Although we can find no evidence of Indian tribes living or dying on this land, some natives would have been used to help the Union Army, whose Yankee soldiers are still seen over a century after they served here. So what would medium David Wells's reading add to our investigation of a museum strongly thought to house paranormal phenomena?
I've got a man, an officer feel to it, and instantly getting the word James, and he seems to be shouting orders. I guess he would be. He's saying something about disorder and clutter. He doesn't like disorder and clutter. Therefore, he may move things. He may change where things are. He may attempt to move things within the house. And I think perhaps if you sat here long enough, it's that sort of like, almost like you weren't, either weren't supposed to be here or that you weren't quite good enough to be here.
Oh, so like the creme de la creme of, if you're here, you're special and you deserve to be
absolutely.
here.
Absolutely.
Can you get a voice link with him, or try and sort of ask him if he can do something in the room? Do you feel his energy's built up enough to do that?
I can ask him. I think that my first impression was there's too many of us here, but I will ask. He said
What makes
that's
you
what he
say
said,
that?
it's
You've
too
never
many.
said that before.
No, because normally I would say the more the merrier.
Yeah, why?
And I don't. It's what he said. There's too many of you here.
Is that
And
what? Oh, right.
It's kind of like there's too many of you here. It's clutter.
He doesn't like
It's
that.
clutter. There's too many of us here. Too many things going on.
And as we move on, David's sensory perceptions are soon alerted to a female energy. Perhaps this could be the spirit of Colonel James Carlton's wife, who lived with her husband here during the Civil War.
I suspect the woman's more dominant here. It's not just because it's a more comfortable space, but I sense her coming down the staircase and turning into here. As far as activity, him smoking, so maybe the smell of him smoking a pipe,
Right.
I'd say. The occasional giggle, noise of a child. I think in here it's going to feel non-threatening, even though it is active, it's not threatening. With the woman, I think she may actually be physically seen here. The woman may be seen here, because I think possibly because it's more her territory. Rather than, like upstairs is very male, down here, very female. I think it would be excellent for anything involving movement, anything we can ask them to move, and not necessarily glass, but maybe if we put an item on the table, lock the room off, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
So we are thinking on the same wavelength then.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
What about the woman's name? Because you've not given us a name for that woman.
An A, it's like Annie, Annabelle, that kind of name.
So it's definitely an A.
Annie, Annabelle. A-N, I would say.
Okay. And still no surname with him?
No. But she's calling, it's what's really odd, she's calling him Harry, but I know his name's James.
We find ourselves in a place that trained many men to fight for their side. The drum barracks may have tasted victory, but at what cost? Our night's work would prove to be full of intrigue. His troops is marching on. Lying 15 miles south of Los Angeles, the district of Wilmington is home to a former army garrison called Drum Barracks. And it is these men that are said to still haunt here to this very day. The Union soldiers may have volunteered to face their enemies then, but would they be so willing to face our investigation? We split into two groups and prepared for night vision vigils by sending Kath and Rachel upstairs to the armory. Kieran, however, was particularly interested in testing claims that a rendition of the Confederate anthem Dixie has previously helped to accelerate activity levels in the parlour. So the parapsychologist's request to start with a séance enabled me to join David, Richard, Carl and our US location manager Sarah to ask for lightning to strike twice.
Please come forward. If there's anyone here who wishes to contact us for any reason, please make yourself known.
Tap on the table, and again, and on the floor.
Yeah. Oh, it's really strong.
Here we go.
That is amazing.
Hang on a minute, I just need to fight back. Wait a minute. Hang on.
You alright?
No, hang on, wait a minute. Sorry. I just need to push him back. God.
And again.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Hang on.
Are you getting this? Get this, it's on the floor.
I've got tears in my eyes already.
Yeah, I have. I just need to fight him back, it's just too strong. Okay, if that's any astral being connected with this space, please tap twice. Please tap. Table's moving.
I keep getting, I can only describe it as a fluttering sound
Where?
on the radios.
Really?
Like,
Wow.
almost like a bird flapping its wings. It's
Whose radios?
on.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah.
That's twice.
hello.
Okay.
Not on yours, Kieran, was the answer. On the other two.
Right. If that's the astral being of a gentleman, please tap again twice. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, it's rumbling. Energy.
If you're in this room and you're knocking, please knock again really loudly for us.
Oh.
It's under our feet. If this is the Colonel, sir, if that's you.
Was that you, John?
No, it isn't. Colonel, if that's you, could you please make your presence known? Thank you. Are you unhappy with us playing Dixie?
Whoa.
What was that? That was over there.
That was over there.
Can I tell you something quite interesting? A lady who was interviewed earlier, I think her name Belinda, she was telling us about, but it's a long story, but to cut it short, it made it sound as if the women here are more likely to get responses than the men, and the reason being is this would have been a male-orientated place, so they're more likely to react to ladies.
But had a reaction already taken place? It was only later, when we reviewed this footage during our edit process, that we heard the footsteps that had originally been oblivious to both girls.
The women here are more likely to get responses than the men, and the reason being is this would have been a male-orientated place.
The clarity of these steps is even more mystifying, as each and every other member of our crew could be accounted for in either the parlour or crew room at this exact time.
I have a really horrible smell. You know, like a male not washed smell. No, I couldn't say it was like a dirty, like a BO smell, like a body oil or anything like that. It was, I just got a waft of it. Isn't it weird?
What was his first name, you said?
James.
James, is that you? Goodness. Yes. Thank you for letting us in your home. Okay.
Can we mention his second name now?
Can we mention his second name?
Yeah.
Well, David,
Yeah.
Do you know if it could be Colonel James Curtis?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Gosh.
Did he die here? No.
Gosh,
Don't give me information,
bang,
just
bang,
asking a question.
Colonel, I know you're in this room on your own, but is your wife in this building?
That came from somewhere totally different. That wasn't at the table. That's what I thought was the idea of it.
Are the children with you?
Yeah.
Are the children your children?
Yeah.
Could you please knock once for each child that's with you in this?
3. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Could you please knock once for each child that's with you in this?
3. Wow, that's amazing. Gosh, that's fantastic.
Something.
Yeah.
He's very tidy now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Very orderly.
Are some of the soldiers still here with you, Colonel?
There's somebody here in this room with us. I think we have smelt you. I can't see. Did you smell it again? I can smell it. Yeah. Dirty. Listen. Okay, right. I can hear. What can you hear? Apart from the cars. Oh my God.
I could hear like a humming.
Is life still going on here, as it used to, in the days of the Civil War?
Why is he here?
It's just because he wants to be here. I mean, why not?
Okay.
It's a bit blustery.
What, you mean he's in and out?
No, he's a bit moody. He's
Is
a
he?
blustery type. Yeah.
He just doesn't want us here, does he?
Well, what about us playing one of his songs instead of the opposition?
What would that be?
I would think Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Well, where's that?
It's first one in the book.
What is that doing? Battery. That doesn't make. Oh no, listen to this now. I say this now. That had battery on it. I checked it before you came in here. Oh, the battery's flashing on the camera to say it's done. That doesn't make any sense.
Despite this unexpected and inexplicable drain on the girls' camera upstairs, Rachel was able to fit a replacement battery there and then. Meanwhile, we decide to reverse the psychology behind our séance in the parlour. Having played a Confederate anthem that usually provokes a response from this Unionist base, it was time to see if a far friendlier Yankee tune would also stir the Barracks' astral energies.
Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Oh God! Feel it tapping underneath.
Yeah,
No, it is.
joking.
It is.
He loves it.
Come on,
Loves it. Keep going.
with us. This is just for you.
Come on, Colonel, join in. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on.
Hot. I'm going really hot.
Icy blaster cold air.
Amen to that.
Amen.
Colonel, did you like it?
Did you
Just
like
for
that,
you, sir.
Colonel? Can you?
So
Yes,
hot.
he did. He did.
So hot.
He's standing under the
Are
table.
you proud to be a colonel in the Union Army? You were, weren't you? And to command this post?
Can you move the table for us one last time, please, Colonel, if you can? You got that? Okay.
Colonel, can I ask you a question? It seems to me that you crossed over into the light and decided to come back here. Is that right? Can you tap if that's correct?
Yes.
Did you just, David, did you say audible?
No.
Yeah, I heard that.
Someone said audible.
Yes,
It's
yes.
just tapped on the table, it's just
Yes,
moved.
I heard
Was
it.
that you, Colonel?
Oh my gosh,
I
are you
heard
okay,
all.
John?
On the desk.
Have you got it? We've got it. Great.
Colonel, can I ask you a question? It seems to me that you crossed over into the light and decided to come back here. Is that right? Colonel, can I ask you a question? It seems to me that you crossed over into the light and decided to come back here. Is that right?
Audible, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Are you telling us that your voice is audible?
Oh my goodness.
So he can speak to us.
Can you speak to me, Colonel?
Do you feel him still here?
I think he's gone upstairs.
Really?
Look, where are the cows?
In the armoury.
Upstairs.
So he's gone upstairs.
Interesting if they hear something.
I think that's where he was heading.
To the girls?
If I was being honest, I think he was heading up there to shoo someone away from them. I think there was a younger soldier up there. That's
Shoo somebody away from the girls, protect them.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Most haunted are at Wilmington's drum barracks, where the imminent onset of Unionist Civil War soldiers are playing havoc with our investigation. We've been tipped off that one way to test this location's claims of paranormal activity was to play anthems known at the time of the Civil War. And no sooner had Kieran played a pro-Union song than a series of almost joyful responses had been felt from directly underneath the parlour's table. Additionally, David had sensed that a male energy had followed Kath and Rachel, who were isolated in the armoury on the first floor.
So he's gone upstairs.
I think that's where he was heading.
To the girls?
If I was being honest, I think he was heading up there to shoo someone away from them.
Is there somebody here with us? Is there somebody in this room with us that's made the battery go?
Yeah. Something's touching my arm. Something's touching this arm with a camera on it. There. Oh God. Do you hear a footstep? Oh no. I heard her. Oh, I can't hear. What I feel like somebody's walking round us. I hear footsteps. You hear them? Is there somebody here with us? Could you make a more definite sign? Oh no. It's weird in this room. There's somebody here.
From horrible odours to a feeling of first being touched and then a series of footsteps in a room that held just 2 living souls. And it was strange that all of this happened at the same time that we were playing a favourite Union anthem 1 floor below. Not surprisingly, this incident proved a fright too far for Rachel, who was forced to retreat to our crew room and rest from whatever had forcibly pushed her over in the same armoury that appears to hold a very strong presence. Kath does, however, decide to carry on and take a closer look at the parlour along with Richard, Stuart and our US researcher Anthony. David, Kieran and I had moved up to the first floor's bedroom, another area said to witness ghostly apparitions. However, soundman John had other troubles. His day had been blighted by inexplicable electrical problems, symptoms that matched those in an earlier first floor vigil.
Oh, the battery's flashing on the camera today. It's done. That doesn't make any sense.
And for both simultaneous vigils, this building's many mysteries would only increase.
Maybe, have you noticed that who did that?
Who did that noise?
Who
The
hung?
what noise?
Have you noticed that who did that?
Who did that noise?
Who
The
hung?
what noise? Is that you, John?
No.
Did you hear
I
it?
did. I was just about to ask who was doing it.
It sounded to me, it could have been a chair being moved downstairs, but...
Yeah.
What it sounded to me was like when you blow into a milk bottle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Twice.
Or I thought a hum, like a
Yeah, I
I
agree.
thought it was you, John.
What were you just about to
I was
say?
just about to say that it seems to me, obviously, that in the seance we were touching hands, we were sitting in a circle. We create more energy, maybe that would work or not. I don't know.
And there's this whole thing as well about music. I mean, the vibration of music is different to the human voice, clearly. And if we're talking about vibrations and the way in which they hear, they may actually hear the notes, musical notes. If you can go higher and higher and higher on the scale, they may hear those more than our voices.
How about a high-pitched singing note?
Yeah, but there's no reason why that. But if you're going to do that, make it a sustained one, not just hit the note, make it a sustained note.
All right.
You're probably best at that.
For nearly 50 years, this was a boarding house. Some of those people would have been very smelly. We mean no disrespect to you when we talk about the smell.
Just had a big orb.
If there's any astrals here, can you respond to this sound for us by making a noise in the room? I got their attention.
Did it? Really?
Let me just record the time.
You're kidding?
Yeah.
Why? What's happened?
I've just got a swirl of astral around me. I think it's the little girl.
Something's changed in the room.
Yes, it has, hasn't
Something's
it?
changed.
That's classic with those kind of noises. That's why they do it. It changes the vibration of the room.
Can you smell it again?
Yeah, it's like the washing.
Stand where Kath is there. Oh shit! Can you smell it?
Is this what you used to smell like when you were alive?
Here. I smell tobacco right here.
Eh?
Like cigar thick. Oh, that burned. That like burned my nostrils. It was really strong.
If that was you, could you please make another sound for us? They are strong. I just caught a sight of them, my physical sight.
Go on, describe. Where?
But just the light, just as she moved, ran behind me. Could you please make yourself known?
Rattling. Does it move? What?
There's something outside the door.
that you outside the door? That's you outside the door?
Nothing.
So another technical problem from our investigation of this southern suburb of Los Angeles, as my microphone suddenly started to pick up interference at the same time as activity seemed to stir outside the bedroom door.
Is that you outside the door? We're going to close the door again. You want to try rattling it again for us? Are you all right?
No, I just feel really...
What?
I don't know, I feel apprehensive for the children, I don't know why. I think they've just been a bit naughty, maybe.
What do you mean?
Well, it's almost like...
What?
I just saw something there.
What?
Saw a shape right beside me.
What?
Just physically saw a head right beside me.
What, a head, child's head?
Yeah, a child's head. Sorry, I just got a bit of a shock when I saw it, that's all. I just feel as if they're being naughty, do you know what I mean, just by being here.
Oh, you mean like they might be told off?
Yeah. I feel just apprehensive for them. I have a sensation that the Colonel knows what they're up to.
We found the drum barracks a strangely contrasting environment in which to conduct our latest investigation. Psychologically, everything fits into place, with pageantry on show in many of its rooms. But the entire crew had to see beyond this, and I feel that we did so successfully. Intense and pungent smells, as well as an impressive array of audibles, were encountered throughout. And what of this electronic voice phenomenon that was caught on John's recording equipment?
It seems to me that you crossed over into the light and decided to come back here, is that right?
Had all this phenomena been caused by the supposed spirits of Colonel James Carlton, his wife and children? Another possible link to the sighting of a child in the midst of this military memorabilia. We return to our base on board the Queen Mary and end our visit to the USA with the feeling that this investigation has taken us a step closer to understanding those that we sometimes cannot see.
Marching on.
The drum barracks for me has got to be the best shoot of the whole American tour. Because I'm into military history, I'm into the Confederacy and the American Civil War, and to be in a barracks that was full of soldiers was just emotional, to say the least.
The first alleged paranormal phenomena that occurred in the drum barracks was when a séance was conducted in the parlour room. In order to, in essence, increase the energy of the room, and also to correspond to previous eyewitness testimony, I was instructed to play the piano.
Whenever Dixie's played, things happen.
What was that?
That was over there.
We then, just to appease the commanding officer, played the Battle Hymn of the Republic, which of course was the side for the Union.
He loves it.
Come on, keep with us. This is just for you. It's tapping.
People may not be consciously aware that they were tapping along, or their feet or knees or any part of their body that was in contact with the table could have been tapping along in time to the music. At one point during the séance in the parlour room, a voice was heard and the word sounded like audible.
Did you just, David, did you say audible? No.
It's definitely there. It isn't audible. It doesn't say audible. It says a man's name, and it's something like Alderman or Hardeman.
That still does not discount the possibility that somebody may have unconsciously said the word and forgotten that they said it.
This is a place that helped to shape the American nation of today. Drum Barracks and its troops may have tasted glory in 1865, but just how many of its finest memories still exist today? Until next time, sleep tight.